Ciryl Gane said that he was exposed to a considerable amount of punching power for the first time during his bout with Tai Tuivasa at UFC Paris. Ciryl Gane, a former UFC interim heavyweight champion, defeated Tai Tuivasa in a fierce struggle at UFC Paris, culminating in Gane scoring a devastating knockout in the third round. Here is everything we know so far. Stay tuned. Without further ado, let's dive into an overview of Ciryl and Tai Tuivasa fight. Tuivasa uncorked a powerful right hand in the second round of that bout, dropping Gane for the first time in his career. Although Gane was able to rebound and dish out his own damage to obtain the dub, he couldn't help but speak up about his first experience with such power in an interview with Ariel Helwani. According to MMAfighting.com, the feeling was just because I didn't see anything talking about his punch, that's why I fell down. And I guess the earth woke me awake, Gane explained. When my ASS reached the ground, I said, "Oh, what's going on?" And I recognized and reacted immediately that he caught me. So I went ahead on his legs to grab and get up, and after that, I took a rest, maybe 3-4 seconds, and moved away. And it was okay, but he really touched me. He's extremely hazardous. You see, sometimes you have certain individuals who you can't explain, but he always has something in his hands. You fall when the guy touches you. That's all. Incredible. Moving on, more specifics on the subject. Keep in mind that Gane has fought alongside some of the hardest hitters in the UFC today, such as Francis Ngannou and Derek Lewis, but Tuivasa was the first to land his power punches in a major way. "No," Gane added, "I've never felt such power before. When you look at the punch, it doesn't appear to be hard or powerful, but when he touches you, he truly touches you. That's why I say I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is, but he has something in his hands, and it's the first time I've felt this." The victory over the UFC's third-ranked heavyweight has put him front of the pack, with a rematch with the current undisputed champion Francis Ngannou on the horizon. Following that, Cris Cyborg defeats Simone Silva in her boxing debut. Cris Cyborg won a decision over Simone Silva in her debut boxing match on Sunday at Fight Music Show 2 in Curitiba, Brazil. Cyborg, the reigning Bellator featherweight champion, has 20 knockouts and 26 MMA wins and titles in the UFC, Strikeforce, and Invicta FC. She was widely expected to cruise past Silva in the squared circle, especially since Catwoman is still serving a 60-day medical suspension for a knockout loss to Cyborg in Texas this past August. Despite the Boxing Commission, OBOX is refusing to oversee the contest and Asociação Paranense de Lutas being summoned to oversee only that match. It's still uncertain if BoxRec would record Cyborg versus Silva as a professional bout or an exhibition. Cyborg landed the more challenging shots in all 8 of the 2-minute rounds and relied on her chin when Silva, a veteran of 39 professional boxing battles, landed a few heavy punches. Cyborg delivered the most significant strikes in the 3rd and 6th rounds, a mighty right hand and a solid uppercut, but Silva refused to back down. Round 8 ended with a flurry of punches. Cyborg eventually won by unanimous decision. Scores were not released. Cyborg won the fight 80-72, according to MMA Fighting. "I'm quite thrilled," Cyborg said, after the victory to FMS broadcast partner Combat. "Simone is a tough athlete, a boxing pioneer, and I consider myself fortunate to have faced her." Next up, Shakur Stevenson dominates Robson Conceição after having his belts removed for missing weight. The American star was scheduled to defend his belts against Conceição, but he weighed in at 131.6 pounds, while the Brazilian opponent weighed in at 129.6 pounds. That didn't appear to bother Stevenson, who dominated Conceição from start to finish for a unanimous decision victory. Stevenson, who defeated 2016 Olympic gold medalist Conceição late in the 4th round, had already stated that he will increase his weight to 135 pounds and compete in the lightweight division. "I had a rough week," Shakur said following the battle. "I starved myself to gain weight. I want to come here and perform. I tried everything I could to accomplish this. I'm simply a dominant personality. When it was just me and him, the ref, I did everything I could to beat him up as much as possible. He held me the entire night, but I did everything possible. When I was inside, I believe he was doing a lot of holding. He grabbed me as soon as I stepped inside." Stevenson is now considering a bout against Devin Haney or Vasily Lomachenko, stating, Devin and I might make a deal. Let's get it on after he battles George Kambosos. I'll fight Lomachenko as well. Moving on, Floyd Mayweather's humorous reaction to bodyguard's KO loss. Floyd Mayweather looked unconcerned with his bodyguard Jizzy Mack being severely knocked down at Rizin 38. Mayweather returned to exhibition boxing on Sunday, taking on Rizin's standout Mikuru Asakura at Rizin 38. Despite being 45 years old and past his physical prime, he hoped to continue his winning ways in the ring. Mayweather versus Asakura was one of the most anticipated fights on the card, but Mack also competed in an exhibition against Japanese kickboxer Kuzi on the undercard. Mack went on to lose the bout by knockout in the final round. Despite the stunning outcome, Mayweather seemed unconcerned by his bodyguard's severe defeat. Mayweather went on to defeat Asakura in his fight with a second-round knockout. In November, he will battle YouTuber Deji in his second exhibition boxing match. Mack's future in the ring with his Hall of Fame client is unknown. If he chooses to compete again, he may be able to recover. Mayweather is usually surrounded by security in public, but he may want to ensure Mack gets more self-defense training to avoid repeat altercations. Are you surprised by Floyd Mayweather's reaction? Please leave a comment. Following that, Mike Davis offers a big opportunity. The bills have been mounting up for Mike Davis ahead of his comeback to the Octagon after such a long hiatus, so he has decided to do something about it. While the UFC's contract with Venom bans him from displaying sponsors on his clothing during fight week and in the cage, he chose to open the door to another advertising option. Davis disclosed on social media that he is offering the opportunity for someone to be in his corner and have one-of-a-kind fight week events. All he wants in exchange is for someone to pay the $10,000 fee so that they can participate. I'm thinking about a sponsorship opportunity. Spend $10,000 and you'll be in my corner, Davis advertised. Behind the scenes of UFC travels to the PI. I have a better seat than Dana White. Meet and greet all fighters. Weight cutting experience, weigh-in experience, walkout experience, post-fight access to the Octagon, and more. Davis is not the only UFC fighter to try this strategy, with Mike Perry auctioning off a position in his corner to a Reddit user. He said this sum would pay all his fight camp expenditures, allowing him to get back on track following his break from competition. Every penny would fund my entire camp. The food, physical treatment, adjustments, equipment, transportation, medicals, therapy, flight and passes, and everything else. It would cover my entire camp, Davis explained. Finally, Van Zandt is not done with fighting. Van Zandt has achieved success outside of the ring, including performances in professional wrestling and a contract with AEW. Despite this, she has no intentions of retiring her gloves or bare-knuckle equivalent. Van Zandt planned to make a comeback in London a month ago, despite having a losing record while competing for the BKFC, which includes a loss in her debut against Britain Hart and a loss in her sophomore outing to a familiar MMA opponent, Rachel Ostovich. Van Zandt was scheduled to battle against Carissa Sigala on the same card as Mike Perry and Bellator's Michael Venom Page. However, that match was withdrawn from the schedule due to circumstances beyond the athlete's control. As a result, Van Zandt will now attempt to win the BKFC 31 match against Sigala, which is set to take place in Denver on October 15th. The promotion's president, David Feldman, has branded her impending fight with BKFC as a must-win. He has subsequently changed his tune and said that the organization might try to re-sign Van Zandt if she puts in a strong performance in her upcoming bout, regardless of the outcome. Even though he had earlier classified the fight as a must-win, she did not win. Van Zandt will not be left without employment options, especially given her recent statement, even if her dismal record in the BKFC ring continues for the foreseeable future. Well, that marks the end of our video for today. We hope you enjoyed it. On your way out, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more content like this in the future. Thanks for watching.